Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM. Brought to you proudly by Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Barton Power Sports, Sportsman's Warehouse, and Best Care Home Services.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, and I get more excited as I go here for an old man here. Frank Barton, I'm wound up, right?
You are. It's a great show.
It is a show.
You did a good job with this one.
I've been working on this for so many, really several years, and so, of course, Ron Wong is here, is my fishing interpreter, and
hey, but I love hunting.
You do, because everybody gets off the water, right? And then we have that's enough for you. Then we have Stacy Walker. Good morning, Stacy. And Stacy has come in all the way from Hardin County to be with us. Of course, she is the founder, the muckety muck of Prime One Camo, and glad to have Stacy here. And these are two guests. I'd rival anybody to have these two guests on one segment of your show and realize the accomplishments that these two ladies have done, and not only representing the United States, but representing the sport that they love the most, and that's Jessie Duff and Kim Rhode. Good morning, Jessie.
Good morning. How are you?
I am doing, I really, for my age, I don't get excited too much. I've been doing this show 17 years. I'm almost got it down, I think. But have Jessie and good morning, Kim Rhode.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going great to hear both of your voices and to know that that you're a part of Outdoors with Larry Ray. I have assembled just 4 little easy questions I'm going to ask each one of you, and then I'm going to ramble on, and I want Stacy to kind of jump in on this as women in the outdoors. I can't think of two women that represent the United States. I looked at this. Jessie Duff has won the 7X Steel Challenge Ladies Open National Champion, the 9X Steel Challenge Ladies Open National Champion. Do you know that she has 152,925 followers on Facebook?
Wow.
That's bigger than my hometown.
That is a major accomplishment.
Frank's one of them, too.
And Larry's one of them, too. Okay.
Hey, I'm going to go follow you.
You better follow her. She needs a few more followers, like that. Can I imagine that? And I'll get to Kim in a minute because most people will recognize that, but what a career for Jessie.
Kim has more than me.
No, not in pistols. I mean, you're the pistol lady, okay? I'm a long way from what you did. So tell our listeners, what did you want to be growing up, Jessie Duff?
Well, growing up, it's funny because I never really knew exactly what I wanted to be until I started competing. We all go through phases where we say, I want to be a veterinarian or I want to be a lawyer or, some grand idea of what the future might hold. But there was nothing I ever truly had my heart set on until I shot my first competition. And from that moment, I just knew somehow, some way, I wanted to shoot for a living. And I didn't even know that it was possible at that time to make a living in the firearms industry. I just knew that I didn't want to do anything else. I just wanted to spend my time on the range.
Well, cowboy action, too. Ron's in my ear trying to talk to me in something else, and I can't keep. Ron, I have enough trouble concentrating on one person here. So this show is. But cowboy action, wasn't that where it started? Wasn't it?
It was. I started in cowboy action with my dad when I was 15 years old, and from there, I shot there for about 6 or 7 years, and then transitioned over to the more modern disciplines that I compete in now, like Steel Challenge, USPSA, IPSC. Bianchi Cup, multi-gun, and that's when I really first saw that I could make a career out of what I love.
And
in cowboy, you weren't able to have the sponsors like you can in the modern disciplines, so I saw that and just put everything I had into it.
And what was your name in cowboy action? I always like that.
Oh, no.
Come on.
It was Jasmine Jessie.
What?
Jasmine Jessie.
Jasmine Jessie. I want her to say that. I just like to hear her say Jasmine Jessie. That's what it was and everything. What about who most inspired you in your career?
There's two people that have truly inspired me along the way. One, my father. He's the one who got me into shooting.
Uh-huh.
He was my coach, my range partner, and he gave me the best foundation I could ever ask for. He's a world champion shooter himself, so I literally learned from the best. And the other person is my mom. She's kind of the one behind the scenes that a lot of people don't see what she does for me, but she's just a constant support and encouragement, and just stands by me, supports me in everything I do, and no dream is ever too big to her. Anything I tell her,
Ooh, I like that.
Well, you know what you have to do to reach that, and she's just constantly encouraging me to keep striving for the things that I want to do. So those would be the two most inspiring people.
Well, when we get to Kim, I guarantee she's going to mention her mom, Sharon, because, I know that for a fact. But Jessie, what do you love about what you're doing?
Well, I love everything about what I'm doing because it's my passion, and I've been fortunate enough to turn it into something that I can make a living at. But I think one of the best things is getting to share my sport with people.
Yeah.
Whether they're just wanting to learn how to shoot, whether they're wanting self-defense purposes for carrying, things like that, or if they want to get into competition. There's nothing I love more than sharing someone's first experience with them when they fire a pistol for the first time. That brings me so much joy because I remember how I felt in that moment.
Yeah.
And then being able to share that with someone else and share our sport and educate people on firearms and just growing what we have. I've always said I want to leave my sport and my industry better than what I found it for the next generation. So I'm constantly teaching and trying to help people along the way.
And I know that on this Thanksgiving weekend, what is Jessie Duff thankful about?
Well, I'm thankful for a full belly and mostly just family. I moved back home to Georgia and surrounded by all of my family, and they're just a constant support system through everything. So I'm just most thankful for family and all the blessings that I've received in life.
Well, that's great. And I know Kim Rhode, let's talk a little bit about you.
I want to hear about Kim.
As Jessie listens, what did you want to be growing up?
Well, let me just say that's a tough act to follow.
Oh.
But,
No. You have the Olympic medals to back it up.
Talk about it.
Oh, well, thanks. But, when I think back of what I wanted to be when I grew up, it was always a veterinarian. So a lot of people may or may not know I went to school and studied to become a veterinarian.
Huh.
So that was something that I was always striving for behind the scenes as well as competing at the same time.
And so what about who most inspired your career?
Boy, that's a tough one. Well, my mom and my dad are hugely involved in my career. My dad's my coach, and my mom, as you know, handles a lot of stuff, so I wouldn't be here without them.
Yes.
But if I had to pick someone that I was always, just impressed by was my grandfather.
Yes.
He was the type of person that just lived life to the fullest. I mean, he used to tell these grandiose stories, going into the gold mining, and he used to gold mine, and he went into the gold mining camps with bare fist box and just, these stories that were just larger than life. And one thing that always, stuck with me is my grandfather used to say, this isn't a dress rehearsal.
Yes.
You get one shot at it and you got to live it to the fullest. So I would say my mom and dad, but my grandfather for sure.
And what was his name?
Clarence Rhode.
Clarence Rhode.
Everybody just called him Cece.
Cece. Okay. and so as we look at this, why do you love what you're doing? Now, I know that both of you are very competitive. And so, Kim Rhode, why do you love what you're doing?
Obviously, we love the competition, but I think for me, being that our competitions are all over the world in all these different countries, getting to go to the different places, getting immersed in the culture and meeting the different people, and just sharing, that common bond of shooting is something that I really enjoy. And I think it has me coming back again and again. I mean, winning never hurts, but I think at the end of the day, it's the culture, the places, and the people.
Well, you've met a lot of people in your career. I know that. And so as we come into this Thanksgiving weekend, what is, Kim Rhode, something that you are thankful for?
Well, I think everybody says, friends and family, and that kind of goes without saying. But for me, being the competitor I am, I would have to say the obstacles and challenges, because I think that when you're faced with those obstacles, they don't always come at the best time. Sometimes, they do, sometimes they don't. But it's how you overcome them and digging deep, finding things within yourself that I think empower you, make you stronger, and I think it's just a great thing. So I'm very thankful for those opportunities, and hopefully we can just keep overcoming and getting better.
All right, now we're down to the closing part here, and I got to ask both of y'all, you've never met, but you realize, and maybe you don't, what you both of you stand for the United States and what you do. And I know Kim, 6 times a medal, 3 golds, coming back from Rio, which to me was a kind of a unusual Olympic with so many satellites now. Now that we have social media going crazy, I mean, Kim Rhode could sneeze 3 times, and it'd be on there saying she sneezed 4, before you had a chance to get down there. And Jessie the same way. Talk a little about the future for both of y'all. Kim, I know winning down in Rio and doing all that, and I know you just told me your little boy is 4 years old, which I can't believe. But what's ahead for Kim Rhode?
Well, I think just trying to, survive the holidays, I think is really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
I think I'm type A to begin with, so of course I've got all the decorations out and, every little window covered, and I mean, just the typical family stuff, just spending time with family. And I know I don't have a match until about 3 months from now. We have a competition in Tucson, Arizona, which is a World Cup, and then we follow that up with one in South Korea. And we have some interesting competitions in the near future, but right now it's just training, family, and surviving the holidays, as I think most moms and people will say.
You still have the fire. I know that you still have that fire in you. Are you looking at the next Olympics? A lot of people ask you that, and I've got to ask you that too. Do you want to go back?
For sure.
There you go.
Without a doubt. I mean, there's no reason to stop at this point. And, of course, the oldest medalist in the history of the Olympics was a shooter.
Yes.
You got Oscar Swan at 72, which I keep saying I'm not going for that record. That would definitely, put me up there, and I'm well on my way.
Well, I know that. What about you, Jessie? What's ahead for you for 2018?
Well, for 2018, like Kim said, getting through the holidays first, but just continuing the match schedule. I've got some international trips coming up. I'm headed to Thailand and South Africa to compete, but also to teach. I've started my own firearms training company with a friend of mine, and so I'm excited with that, learning the business side of things and trying to grow that business and clientele and just share the sport. So 2018 will bring on the normal competitions and sponsor obligations that I look forward to every year, but also a new challenge in building my own company and my own brand and setting something up for once I'm not able to travel and compete as much. Kind of like Kim said, it's in shooting, there's not really an age limit. It's just what your physical capabilities are, and I don't want to be 72 trying to travel to 30 matches a year.
I don't.
So I've started looking towards the future a little further ahead, and setting something up that still keeps me in firearms and doing what I love, but not having to chase everything so hard.
Well, I know you gals have been around the world and back a few times, and we appreciate you being on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Both of you have been supporters over the years. I can't say enough thanks to both of you. Kim, I hope you have a great Thanksgiving with your family and the little one. I'm sure it's going to be great to take some time off. And also, Jessie, thanks for contacting us and always being a part of the Outdoors with Larry Ray team. Happy Thanksgiving to all y'all, okay?
Thank you, Larry.
Thank you so
have
much.
a great day.
All right, we'll talk to y'all. Let's take a break on Outdoors with Larry Ray. It's going to be hard to top that. Kim Rhode, Jessie Duff. Stacy Walker in studio. The rest of us are just here. We'll be right back.
You can find out all about it on Outdoors with Larry.